Hello, everyone. Welcome to this big talk of the big whale. I'm very, very pleased to host today for 30 minutes Martin Masser, you're CEO of STONfi. Also, is the biggest DEX on the Ton blockchain. So thank you, Martin, to be with us and to talk about your project and also about the Ton blockchain. How are you, Martin?
Hello, thank you very much. I'm very excited actually. Everything is going great for Ton at the moment. It's really moving forward. A huge amount probably that we can cover. A huge amount we probably won't cover. So yeah, I'd love to sort of go and teach you and tell you lots of interesting things that probably people don't really know. And it'd be great to let your viewers and listeners some more insight in what we're doing.
Oh, yes, I hope so. I hope so. So, as you mentioned, the ecosystem of Ton blockchain is rising, especially the last 2 or 3 months before. So that's a huge milestone, and that's quite a surprise. So, how do you explain that, Martin, personally, this incredible rise of the Ton blockchain, and also of your project too?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it might come to surprise for people outside, maybe Todd or not familiar, but probably from about November, you can start seeing it really bubbling up and people getting involved and really there's a lot of excitement going on. I think it started when I think it was token 2049 when
Yes.
Telegram mentioned that Tom was going to be the chain and like the only chain that they're going to be using, so that really gives Ton that value. So it's like, okay, it's not just it wasn't like Telegram said, okay, we're going to support Ton, but we'll also support 8 or 9 different chains, supporting Ton only, and the integration that it does, and we'll probably mention it as well. Start seeing it, the integration that it can do within Telegram is going to make Ton so much more valuable than any other chain out there. I think one of the key things, and I think the key thing to think about is there's like a large group of cryptocurrencies, L1s, L2s, but I think they've only got like a finite pool of users. Like if you think
Mm,
about the few million that are actually properly interacting with it. If you look at like ETH, like the usability is shot up and now it's plateauing. The same with multiple other chains, it's sort of going up, and then like they've found those users, and now trying to get extra users into any other L1s is near impossible. The key thing about Telegram and Ton integration together is you don't just have crypto users, which is like one part. You've got Telegram
yes.
users, and then so far we're getting that little bit of like crypto users from Telegram, but then if we start looking at Telegram users and that distribution of all those users that you have out there, the potential is going to be way more than no one has ever thought about. But this is like this mass adoption, and how you're going to get this mass adoption. So
Yeah.
this is the real exciting moment. So why is it sort of peaked or not peaked? Why is it bubbling up, and why is it starting to really start rising up, going
That's the
really
time. Yeah.
forward? But if you start looking at it, it's like we've got key stuff that's come. So like definitely key touch point number one, Telegram mentioning Ton is going to be this big supporter and it's going to be integrated. Number two, we've had the Open League. It's sort of, if you're familiar with football, it's like the Premier League of tokens on the ecosystem, battling it out, and the foundation have
Mm.
supported that, and they've given a lot of incentives. But that's really like dramatically pushed up a lot of interest, volume, trades, but also has sort of expedited how quickly a lot of these projects have worked on things that maybe they're thinking, oh, look, we'll do this when we get a little bit more volume. Now it's sort of jumped it. So we had the Open League, that was key. Second, number two. Number three, USDT coming. And USDT really gives it this real use case of what actually, probably more of a use case for USDT than actually Ton having USDT, because people are sending USDT around. Gasless. You just need the Telegram username. So you tell me your Telegram username, or a user tells me, I can send it. And I was doing this the other week in Portugal, and I was getting people on the stage, sort of sending them Ton and sending them USDT in an instant, just knowing their username is in their wallet straight away. Now you've onboarded a user that quickly. this is the key thing there. And then the last, obviously, is Notcoin. How that really has changed. 35 million users coming in, starting to utilize it. We're seeing today now. The sell pressure's gone, buy pressure's really going up. Now the ecosystem's jumping behind that, and now we're having another game sort of near enough copying and then adding to what Notcoin's doing. So this is
Mm.
just, what's that been, 6-7 months. So this is just the
Yes.
start of things that are coming. And obviously, I mentioned obviously STONfi, the largest, the biggest, the prettiest DEX, well, in my opinion, out there. All the other rest is true. What's great about STONfi is it's really supported the ecosystem. We're not just a DEX where you just list. We've reached out to partners. We've spoken to partners. We've got Ston ambassadors that help promote the ecosystem. But we're working with tokens from all types of tokens that we've been doing. Helping them with even like sort of come up with their tokenomics or help them with their review their tokenomics. So it's not just the Uniswap, because I always say, oh, what's
Yes.
STONfi? So
Mm.
just think about it as Uniswap. It isn't Uniswap in the sense. It is a Uniswap, sorry, in the sense that it's a DEX, but then how we work with the project, how we even interact with the foundation, how we're supporting USDT ton, where if you're farming your tether, we're getting like 80 to 90%. So it's basically, if you're pro the ton ecosystem, it's a win-win-win. But these are the key things, and we hopefully later in the show, I'll explain extra stuff that's coming. Why actually STONfi probably will be like one of the dexes everyone will know about. And then people Google STONfi. Back in the day, they'll watch this show and go, "Oh, look, they're actually making a lot of sense. I wish I got into STONfi then, or wish I started using it back in June 2024."
Oh yeah, yeah. So just to go back to your background, why did you
Yeah.
choose to build on Ton blockchain and not to another blockchain? What's your personal background, like a study or before in another life maybe before blockchain?
Yeah, no,
So
it definitely feels
and
like
what
another
did you
life. I
choose
say
especially on
crypto.
Ton blockchain?
Crypto, yeah, multiple. So my background, I've been in banking for very close to about 18 years, maybe probably 20. I can't remember
Okay.
now. It's been a long time in banking. FX, in that obviously worked for one of your lovely French banks out there for a long time, and then multiple other major banks out there. And yeah, I saw a lot of crypto adoption and use, but obviously, working in crypto itself is very different than using crypto. Personally, I've been in crypto for quite a while, always sort of playing around with it, and that this gives us the opportunity, to play around with crypto, being involved in it so much more than just utilizing services. Um, so STONfi, we're going cross chain as well, just to let you know. So we are using other chains, but Ton is going to be that strong chain that we're the center of us. We've been funded or owned, co-invested by Top Labs.
Yes.
Top's a really great builder on the Ton ecosystem. They're really, really pushing forward, and some of the best enjoyable products like Playdeck and other ones out there as well. A part of that family as well, and that sort of helps us out as well with our reaching out to the top portfolio, working with the project, which sort of helps a lot because sort of going back and forth, we can start working together with the co-marketing.
Mm.
It's just too. It's being there's a first mover advantage in crypto. So if you think about it, you want to be the first to a chain or first to be doing a product on the chain. So we've got Uniswap, but there's multiple other dexes out there. But people use Uniswap, even though it might be more expensive, just because they remember Uniswap. Even the sense like with NFTs, OpenSea, everyone used OpenSea, and I know there's now other NFTs. Blur did a big airdrop, but you then have to do something not just the same level, not just a little bit more, but you really have to do something dramatically bigger to get people to come on.
Yes.
So you want to be that first mover. You want to be the major decks on Ton. Now, for someone to replace us, they've got to have to do something dramatically different because I'm part in product and UX as well. people getting a lot of patterns and just that user memory or that muscle memory of, okay, I'm going to go to my DEX and just do it there, even though you could do stuff on other DEXs. Is like you have that muscle memory of going to, and that's why we're working so hard to really be that major DEX that everyone goes to initially in that first year, and then we can do other major stuff as well. But like as soon as we start getting users, which like our users have gone up about, I think I did about 2,500% since November. It's probably even more, to be honest. Just so many users that we've been getting. You just want to be out there first, so then people have that muscle memory, go to STONfi. This is the DEX for Ston. When we do the cross chain where you could get Tron in or ETH or Matic, you start using STONfi as doing that, and then we could be the DEX on those chains as well, which again is quite exciting.
So you more than a DEX, you can be defined as like a bridge for the Ton blockchain, for example, or not?
I don't really want to use the word. Well, we're not going to be bridging assets. I think that's the key thing with Omniston, and this is why it's not going to be just how other dexes would be dealing in that way. And I'm glad you raised this so early on. Omniston, the way that you would connect your wallet, maybe you'd get USDT on Tron, and then let's say ton on ton. Instead of going bridging or wrapping all the assets, it's done via hash time lock contracts. This was initially done on Bitcoin, but we see how slow the Bitcoin network is just with the blocks. Doesn't work. So the really cool thing about the way that we're doing this, well, no, the way we are doing it is we're working with market makers, liquidity providers as well, and AMM. But then you can get the transaction on one chain, and then the market makers then release it on the other. They match the secrets, they see it, they release it, and then it releases the funds to the users. This obviously means it's a lot lower cost than traditional, as you would bridge an asset, and it'd be a lot quicker as well. And then the key thing, you'll be probably sick of me saying this, is this user experience, this user flow, this journey that you're taking the users on. This is what we're trying to do and simplify it, because you have to think now, we're not just doing this for crypto users. There's going to be a completely new type of user coming in, the Telegram user, maybe one that has Telegram that wants to sort of stop flirting with crypto or wants to use crypto, but like so many steps, I just don't know how to,
And
you just
don't
get
have
on
the
your
feeling
phone
to
and
using crypto, Don't have the feeling to using crypto, especially that's why the main challenge, of the crypto ecosystem overall, to have a best experience user. So
yeah.
I'm curious, Martin, what kind of user do you want to attract on Ton blockchain and on your DEX,
That's a good question and a difficult question to answer, because we obviously
For
want
now,
this
all the
obviously
users,
you
and
obviously
before we're gonna think about this.
yeah, there's we're building it definitely with the idea that we are going to be getting multiple millions of users that had never had a proper touch point with crypto. Maybe had used an exchange before, but as we've even seen with Notcoin, this is 35 million people tapping away. I don't know if you're familiar. Just to quickly explain it. It started with it was a clicker game, and then you mined the Not coins, and then you could, at the certain
Yes.
period last month, you could cash in the Not coin and then actually get real crypto. And this is probably the first time a lot of these people actually had. I know myself, so many people. It's like, oh wow, now I've got crypto. So the really great thing about that is now you've got so many people that never had crypto, never really understood about crypto. They've played around, they've got the crypto, and it's like, okay, now I've got it. What can I do with it? How can I interact? And there's lots of plans, obviously, for Notcoin to be in the ecosystem, and STONfi hopefully should be at the heart of a lot of these things, of where maybe a user wants to see another game that's similar to Notcoin, maybe wants to get their coin. So maybe they use Notcoin, which is their first touch point. Maybe they sell some of that and then interact with it. Maybe they want more Notcoin. Maybe they realize, oh wow, this could be the future. How do I do this? And then we've got obviously onboarding or swapping the crypto. So we hopefully, would love to be at the heart of all of this stuff, especially the heart of the ton ecosystem. I don't want to sort of pigeonhole us saying I only want novice users or I only want expert users, but I think the way that STONfi is designed is you can easily sort of stay in that area you're comfortable with and maybe start branching out. And we'll be doing a lot of videos and step by steps. We've got the STON ambassadors, which will help obviously a lot more users. But I think for me, I don't know if you remember your first touch point of like proper crypto. You start doing, I made so many mistakes because I was like, oh, have I sent this? Is this the right?
Me
How do I
too, me
do the
too.
gas or how do
Oh,
I? And
me
you're
too.
like,
Don't worry about the gas fees, about the scam, about how to manage your crypto, or which token do you want to buy. So yeah, that's a that's a crazy
you know
journey.
that
Yeah.
meme of that guy really sweat. I still get that, but like, this is what we're trying to, yeah. The other day, I was doing some Ethereum, and I was like, have I set the gas the right fee? How on earth does someone that's never touched crypto, how do you really explain all of this to them? Like,
Yeah.
you need to near enough have been in crypto for a while to sort of even understand, like, okay, I need to adjust the gas, or I did the gas, which was right, which the wallet told me to, and it's still not going through. Has it gone through? Or why hasn't it gone through straight away? So obviously, these are things that we're building, we're thinking about of like, how do you make this a lot easier for the user? But you probably get to the point where the user doesn't even need to understand about gas or doesn't need to know about gas. Like, for instance, with my internet, there's probably so many things about my internet, my router, I don't know about. I could know about it, but it doesn't really matter. On the whole, it's like the majority of people just get their router, plug it in. There's probably ways you can make it quicker. Like, you probably have a lot of the people that really understand routers can like make it quicker, or lots of other things. But the average person, they just click it in, or now you've got it on your mobile phone. You connect to the internet just like that. So it's breaking down a lot of those barriers. Now, if I want to make my internet quicker, I can speed all of this stuff up, or then I can start looking into it and then start playing around with all of this stuff. So these are just little things, and we're just hoping, as the Tom crypto and the ecosystem grows and Telegram grows and the interaction and the being embedded with a lot of the Telegram apps starts using a lot of the Ton ecosystem, the coins, that we will definitely be at the main thoughts of this and doing a lot, helping out people with that, making it simple.
Mm, that's very interesting because that's the main goal for many projects like Solana, like Ledger, the French one, is to put a solution, to use crypto directly on the phone, and
Yeah.
that's really interesting regarding Telegram and Ton. And what are you doing? It's like you have your crypto, on Telegram, you have a social network, you have your mobile phone, you have a wallet too. You can borrow, lending, send money through Telegram and through to another blockchain linked to this system. So is it a way to go around this solution, by Telegram, and you have your money directly on Telegram, not directly on Telegram, but on the wallet on Telegram? That's
Yeah.
one of the on the purpose.
um I think it just keeps the user within the journey or within the app, rather than, like, again, trying to do multiple things, and then you're taking people away from the journey. Having it within Telegram and then having the app interact within it. I've seen a lot of chains also building a wallet within Telegram. So there is,
Yeah.
like, I won't name chains, but certain chains are doing it, but it's like an extra 4 steps. So I'm like, why would you, from a user perspective, why would I do an extra few more steps to try and then get onto that chain where it's natively in Telegram, and people are on their phones all the time, and it's a lot easier than getting your ledger, plugging it in the laptop, doing all the codes and then moving it and sending it, which, and as I said, like, when that came out, that was like a huge game changer, like, just, but again, I get palpitations when I see someone that send me a picture. Oh, I've just bought this. They send me a picture of a ledger. How do I set this up? I'm like, oh God, this is going to be my afternoon. This is going to be my afternoon gone. Like, this is it. And then you're trying to explain. It's like, okay, so how do I move my wallet onto there? It's like, that's not great security,
Yes.
and you need to multiple things, and then it's like someone like starts out with $100, and then by the end they have about $5 worth because they keep moving it around with the gas and the fees, and it's like you don't have anything yet. So I think keeping it within Telegram, an app that, and you have to remember as well, like, I don't know if you go to any conferences yourself or crypto meetups, when you speak to someone and you want to connect, what do you ask for? What do you say to them? You say, what's your Telegram? So you sort of
Yeah,
like, you've got that already. It's not like, what's your Discord, or what is your I don't know, what's your phone number, for instance. Your Telegram, you're in there already. You've already got that crypto mindset being in Telegram, rather than trying to set up other apps. And like there was one there was another app similar to Telegram that tried to do a coin, didn't do it very well, and the UX wasn't very good. But also, people aren't overly crypto native on it. It was a big app, and it's still a very big messaging app, but it just didn't work because they didn't think A, about the user, and B, there was multiple steps about doing it, and
mm,
crypto users don't go to any other app really to message apart from Telegram as the key one on there.
yeah, yeah, very interesting. So as you mentioned, you have all in one place, all of things like social network, your money, the
Yep.
the blockchain network. So I have to add this question because many big companies want to build something like this, like Facebook, for example, and there's
Hmm.
been struck by the regulation. So are you not afraid by this? But before during the ICO of Ton and Telegram, the
Yeah.
SEC strike. So are you not
Yeah.
afraid about this and where we are going with this
There's a lot of there's a
regarding
lot of
different jurisdiction?
yeah, no, definitely. It's a good point to raise, and the foundation have really thought about this, and they're very strict. So, for instance, at the moment with the wallet, there's KYC for certain levels on the wallet. There's also jurisdictions restrictions, in particular on America. US users
Yes.
can't access that, um, which is a shame. Obviously, if I was a US citizen, I'd be very gutted that I'm missing out on that. And then obviously exchanges that baits to US citizens can't really have access to tons. So they're sort of really thinking about this. And obviously, I think in the thoughts, obviously you've got the Mika regulations, but obviously there's a custody wallet that's within Telegram, but there's also a non-custodial wallet, which is Spaces, and you've got Keeper as well, which again, these are non-custodial wallets. So this is a very different step. So, there might be restrictions on the Telegram wallet, but at the same time, the Spaces and the Keeper, that's a self custody wallet. And again, this is where users are a little bit more advanced in their operations, knowing their crypto, a bit more crypto experience, and then they could go non-custodial in that sense as well. So, look, we're at an evolving point now where beforehand crypto was the enemy. Now it's like, and we'll see a lot more of that. It's like, okay, maybe crypto isn't the enemy. Maybe now starting to entertain that. So again, it's working within the regulations, working, and then also understanding the regulations. And I think we also have to realize that probably regulations will change. So maybe what works
Yes.
today might be very different to works tomorrow. And again, as you can see, and there'll be stuff probably coming out again, and you might have that on future episodes of like what's been done, what's been discussed, and how that's all going to be worked with, and the thought in that.
And you personally, are you working with some regulator? Of course, maybe yes. And just another part of the question, so where we are in UK regarding the regulation, especially about project like you, but not about centralized because you're not a centralized project. So where we
No,
are about this in
we're
UK?
we're 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 a DeFi platform, so yeah, so that's what we do. But obviously, we're very aware of regulations, and we're not going to be flouting the rules. Everything that we're doing is trying to be thought of at the best of our abilities on that. But as I said, we're not a DEX, we're not custodying any funds, so and we've not done IPOs or whatever the new ICOs or whatever the wording now. What's it? IDOs and ILOs, like all of those. But we've not been doing that stuff at all. So a lot of that stuff is very short-term thinking, but then causes a lot of issues, especially in terms of like being security on that.
Yes. And how many are you working on STONfi or
I think
around
well,
the
we're
DEX?
growing. Every time someone asks me, I get like a load of messages say, "Oh, so and so's strong." I think there's a strong about 40 to 50 of us on there.
Okay, okay.
But then
That's pretty good. Okay.
we also have ambassadors. We also work with Top as well and other projects. So it's not just a silo team. We're always even like about 2 minutes ago, before I joined, we had a lot of the launch pads that we work with. They're sending us projects, so they're doing a lot of the BD work for us. Whereas I never in the finance world, you'd never see that. And even working with a seen competitor, we still sort of work together because I think you need to work together to be strong as an ecosystem rather than sort of be a versus on there as well. And part of what we're doing is an aggregation. So we're going to be aggregating DEXs within the Ton ecosystem as well. So for us, you want to have as many strong DEXs as possible. Because great ecosystem, maybe DEXs do a little bit different. Maybe they're focused on stuff, but we're not like trying to put any of them down. We're trying to work together. So then when we introduce OmniSton very shortly, where you'll be able to have multiple DEXs to select, it's going to be in a great way. And I think it's great for the ecosystem as well.
Okay. Yeah. And you are in the center of this Ton blockchain, the Ton ecosystem. What's your links with the Ton Foundation? Did you receive some grant from them? So are they supporting you in a financial way? So what kind of relationship do you have? It's just like Ethereum and Ethereum project. Sometimes you ask some question, you are just talking about some milestone of where we are doing. So yeah, well, how are you able to define your relationship with a Ton Foundation and with the another project in a Ton ecosystem, a Ton blockchain?
Yeah. So, and I need to explain this quite carefully because some listeners might interpret stuff differently. But we've taken in the Open League, so we've won the Open League a few times, especially for the DeFi one, and we've won. So with that, there is rewards from the Tom Foundation. So the foundation haven't directly given us money, but at the same time, we've won that. So then they've given us rewards, and in turn, we've given those rewards back to the community. USDT, if you're the farming on USDT Ton for the next few months at least, if you're watching this now and you're pro Ton or thinking about it, get in the STONfi pools. It's like 90% supported by the foundation. They've given us quite a large amount of Ton to sort of let people know how to farm on Ton, but then also it's a great incentive APY to getting involved in USDT. They've given us, and again, I don't know, other changes are great with the foundation. Really grateful, they've given us that. They've given a competitor as well. That's so it's not just working with STONfi. They're trying to make the ecosystem as strong as possible, and other little things. They might not give us financial support or anything in that side, but also at the same time, they've given us great introductions. A lot of people come to the foundation and say, "Oh, do you have any links with STONfi? We're wanting to launch a token." And in the opposite way, we actually get a lot of projects from outside of the ecosystem coming to STONfi, and they go, "Oh, do you know anyone at the foundation?" And some of these are great projects, really big projects on different chains wanting to come. So then we obviously reciprocate that as well. But I think foundation are very clever, especially with how they're doing it for the rewards out there, for the Open League, for instance, and for USDT. They realize to get users in, they need to support the ecosystem. They can't just sort of have their account just over there and not speak to anyone and just think, oh, well, we're the best blockchain, it's all going to happen. And I see this with so many L1s. And then, this is why so many L1s were in like the top 20, 30, and now they're outside of the top 100 because they just assumed, we've got the best blockchain because we do this much quicker, or this is much better. But they've got no users. You've got no use cases. You've got no ecosystem projects. There's no point, for me, there's no point having a DEX with no tokens, because that'd be pretty pointless, or like 2 tokens. So it works both ways on that.
Okay. And overall, what is the involvement of the Telegram teams, in the ecosystem, and with you or with the Ton Foundation,
So I can't speak for the foundation. I can only obviously speak for STONfi. We have no relationship at all. I get so many people messaging me, go, "Oh, I've had my Telegram blocked," or no relationship. So if you're wanting to message me afterwards, asking me about a Telegram question, no idea. Okay, STONfi is definitely not anything to do with Telegram. You can get to STONfi via Telegram, obviously, but we're not anything to do with Telegram. And I do know, like, sometimes Telegram make a message about Ton. There's a London event that we do, myself and Jack. Jack's head of marketing, really great guy, Jack Booth. And we were discussing that, and I think there was something about ads, how ad revenue was going to be done, and Telegram ads and shared with the users. And it was like, we had absolutely no idea this announcement was going to come, which actually shows that, like, Ton and Telegram are nothing to do with each other. They work together,
Yes.
but they're not going to give any. So the first you hear about it is through the Telegram announcements on there. But obviously, Telegram realizes. And it probably get to the point where at the moment, Telegram's leading a lot of the Ton adoption, but it might get to the point soon, especially with like Notcoin and a few other things, that Ton might soon then lead to the strengthening of like Telegram users' time spent on the app, bringing more users in. So, I feel that is definitely something that will happen. I just don't know when. And it could be any time, even this year, that they're thinking, oh, look, Tom's really helping out. Users are doing so much more on Telegram now. So, more Telegram premiums. And look, you saw the Notcoin campaigns and multiple things. There's incentives to get Telegram premium, which then boosts Telegram. But also for us, we realized that these users are more involved in the ecosystem by having Telegram premium.
Pretty nice. Do you know, I know it's hard to know because you're decentralized, but do you know a little bit your typology of your users? Where are they from? From Asia, from Europe, do you know a little bit, or not at all?
I only know this from interacting with the community. Obviously, as you said, we're decentralized, so we can't get any user stats or anything in that way. There isn't one area. So, I speak to a lot, and I go on these spaces, Twitter spaces, and there's a lot of, it's great from like Nigeria, Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand, a lot of different countries you wouldn't expect. Asia's starting to get quite a good idea now, Tom, because there's some great games, Pluto games. So you've got Catterson, that's a great game. People are involved in those games, and then they get involved in STONfi because they're related. Notcoin's out there. Redo's a meme coin. That's like the longest meme coin out there. Again, that community is all around the world. I can't tell you any stats really of like, you have ideas. I think a lot of people that use DEX probably aren't using a DEX for the first time, but I think with the Open League, with the USDT, we're actually now seeing a lot more users coming in that probably haven't touched it before, especially with Notcoin coming in. I know personally, just my own personal stuff, people are, oh, I used to have Bitcoin and I bought a little bit of ETH and I stored it on Coinbase, for instance. Other exchanges are available as well. Again, this is the first time, I've ever used a DEX. I didn't realize what a DEX was. I hear the word. So it's getting people in, especially the fact that people sort of worked for the not coin, then they wanted to get more incentives of doing it. It's amazing how quick some people learn when you really have skin in the game, and I think that's the key thing. It's like I have people that read crypto for like years, never done any farming because they just don't get it. As soon as I have a friend like, oh, I've tapped away, I've got my not coin, they get farming within like the afternoon, straight away. Oh, I need to farm my coins. Like, how do I do that? It's like, so I think the key thing is obviously, as I just said, skin in the game. That helps a lot of people sort of just get involved in the ecosystem and understand it.
No, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we are now you and the Ton ecosystem. We are in a time like it's time to bootstrap, a network, in a different ways. So what kind of huge milestone do you want to reach in the following months? What's you in Eston, and what do you want to wish for the Ton ecosystem, also the Ton
Oh,
blockchain around all of this?
that's a I can say if I was in the Tom Foundation, what I would want as well. I would love 5 to 10 projects at the end of the year. If there's 5 projects in the top 100 that were like Ton native, that would be brilliant. If there was maybe 20 in the top 200, that's great. That just sort of shows adoptions, or you can sort of touch that. For DEX, exactly the same thing. I'd love as many big top projects out there as possible. I I'd love to see as many wallets as possible. I don't want to give a number because, like, do you know what? The other week I gave a number and I beat that. That number was, and I thought, oh, this was by the end of the year we'll get to this number, and then by the end of the month we got that number. So I don't want to sort of, especially because people go back and go, oh look, you said you wanted X amount of users then and you haven't got it. Oh, you failed. I always feel that's a bit risky. I think for us though, I want to make it as user friendly as possible. I want people to realize that there's more to Ton than just Ton coin or not coin. There's a huge world out there that STONfi opens the door to. I think that would be great. TVL is always a good metric. Obviously, Omniston is a little bit different when that comes because you don't need to lock up. So maybe the amount of swaps done is going to be a great metric to look at. I like that, or the volume going through that. But as a DEX, and I haven't even mentioned this stuff, anyone can integrate STONfi within their application. So you could get the STONfi SDK, integrate that, and then you have a DEX within that. And we've got many like great games. Tap Fantasy is one of them. Tom Punks again. And what they've done is they've integrated, and like even Tonkeeper wallet as well. So you'd go in there, if you do a swap or something that you wouldn't even realize, you don't leave the game or you don't leave the wallet, straight away you're in there and it would just say, powered by STONfi. Um,
Mm.
for me, I would love, and I'm not going to say a number, but I would love huge amount of applications integrating STONfi within their application, because that helps them out. That's great for us because you're boosting the ecosystem on there as well. So for me, that's one of the major goals, and that's what we're pushing a lot as well. Because you get a lot of times they go, "Oh, we're building our own this," or we're doing. It's like you just integrate the SDK, and then you have all that liquidity, and you're making life a lot easier to do that.
And are you in talk, and at Eston, are you in talk with big corporates regarding the Ton ecosystem and what you are proposing to your users,
Um, we're speaking to large. Again, I've been in banking for a while, and I've run the London event, so we're always speaking. I'm always speaking to very large corporates, companies, institution, big players, whales, and I have. They always tell me they've never been more excited by an ecosystem ever. Even way because I think everyone comes up to me and then they give me examples of how Ton and Ston can make why don't you integrate it like this way? Or, have you ever thought about doing this? Or wow, this is going to be a good idea. So I think this is only going to get bigger and bigger. Might get more attention just in crypto in general, which then brings more eyes. It's a filter coming in. So yeah, they're aware of it. and I think we'll see in the next few months, news of bigger players starting to incorporate Ton, and then obviously maybe then as part of that, when they get into DeFi, that's when they're going to be start looking at Ston, or start using it, or start playing around with it. And I get a lot of people, not officially, but they're like the head of the crypto department. Oh yeah, I've been playing with STONfi for a while. I love it. Like it's just on my phone. So it's definitely adoption
Mm.
there. Official adoption is always a little bit difficult. It just people. I hate the word partnerships a lot, because back in I don't know if you were around in the 2017 time, 2018, but people were coming up with like random, oh yeah, we're in a partnership with them. We're a partner, which meant absolutely nothing. It's like, I remember
Yeah.
one of these was like, oh, we're in a partnership with Dell, or AWS in that sense, and they were just using like their cloud system. That was just like, I'm in a partnership with
It was
Apple,
on
like
a
they're using
private
Mac.
blockchain. It was on a private network. So okay, I don't
There was
understand.
there
What do
was
you really want to do? Yeah.
yeah. There is a lot of that going on. And like, yeah, so try to stay away with like a lot of these sort of weak partnerships announcements. But eyes are definitely on Ton, and anyone watching this, like all the circles I'm going on, everyone is like, oh wow, Ton, like this is definitely one that sort of crept up, and people like, I really want to get into it. I really, like I really get excited. They get excited because I think anyone can start now thinking about ideas how you can incorporate that. But if I tell you, if you're interviewing me and I'm from like L1, like another L1, what do I have to sell you on? Like it's a lot harder to, to get you then to come onto my L1. Oh, we can do an extra 100 transactions a millisecond. It's like, well, it doesn't really matter. If you've got no transactions anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, we shard quicker or different or better. It doesn't really do anything. Like Ton is just a completely different it's a completely different idea, to be honest, or different working way to anything out there at the moment. That's why I think so many people are so excited.
Yeah. So thank you for your time, Martin. I have one last question, and we just spoke about before, but for me, Telegram or Ton, the whole ecosystem is leading because X, Twitter, want to build the same thing to integrate payment and crypto. So that's
Yeah,
really huge. That's powerful, to have a social network and to have like a bank account. Which you
yeah.
are able to send money through the entire planet. That's pretty huge. So are you saying that that's going to be random in coming years to have our social network and in the same time your bank account linked directly and to send messages and value through the blockchain or through the network?
Um, there's definitely use cases there. I don't look. I don't think people. I don't think social networks wouldn't be exploring it if it wasn't an idea. But then you also have to question how they're doing it, why they're doing it. Is it just sort of a closed network, or how they're going to be doing it? And I think obviously there's been multiple social networks that sort of come up with an idea, or messaging apps that sort of try to do it, not really done it properly, not really had the focus of the user. It's more cash grab. I definitely can see though, even from like how WeChat works, we're in a different parallel of now sending like, if you think about it, the way we send pictures, way we send videos, get access to music, it's all very different. Money and finance and crypto, I think it's easily going to be evolving in there, which is very exciting on there. But no, I'm excited. I think Ton is at such a great inflection point to really sort of go on. I think it's at the right time. I think they've not done stupid stuff. I think that that's the great thing, where you've seen so many L1s do random sponsorship, spent random money on random stuff, which doesn't make sense, but they felt they had to do that. Everything's been calculated. Everything that we're doing is really being thought through. We're not just randomly throwing ideas around, or doing anything that doesn't sort of make sense. Putting the user first is the key thing. getting the access to the ecosystem, opening the door. Would love to know, like watching this, what users are doing with STONfi and Ton just in the comments as well. If they've got a favorite coin as well. I know there's some loyal, especially on Telegram. You've got your community already there, so keeping it there. Love to know maybe offline what your ecosystem choices and what you've been using and how you like it as well. But yeah, we can talk for hours about this and still not get bored at all. There's so much conversation and ideas going forward. But I'm really grateful for having me on. Love what you guys are doing as well. I know it's going to get bigger and bigger. So when people start searching for Ton, this will come up. So it's great, and hopefully I've given you some more, filling in some more ideas and more of the information out there that some people just don't know and would like to know. So you've done a great job. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So we're gonna follow this, of course, in the big well. The main purpose to have this interview or to have some analyze about the ecosystem like this is to understand what is going on and to be early, to discover in the right time and to just follow the rising of an ecosystem. So thank you, Martin Wasser, from the STONfi. Have a good day and enjoy the big well subscription. Maybe I don't know if you are, but just follow and thank you for your time,
subscribe on YouTube.
Martin.
Click that. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Get you on Spotify and all
Exactly.
the other apps. Thanks very much. Cheers.